Is it necessary for a mentor to have prepared content to share? So I'm thinking the mentor is in this arrangement, establishing a relationship with the mentee. Are we sharing is that it's important or necessary that the mentor has, oh, here's my shelf, let me see. I'll just go grab that handout. I'll give it to the person and say, take care. You got what you need, kind of vibe there. That's one way of looking at it. Or being prepared to the extent that I'm anticipating your question and I'm already going to prepare something without you even asking it first. So again, I'm just sharing a couple of things. So is it necessary for a mentor to have prepared content to share? Your thoughts?
So the first question that I have kind of coming back is who is who's driving the arrangement, the mentoring arrangement? Is it the mentor or the mentee? Who do we want to drive that arrangement, that relationship? Is it the mentor or the mentee? And I think hidden behind those two doors is the answer. And the answer, from my perspective, is I typically do not go into a mentoring session with stuff that's prepared because I number one, I typically don't know where we're going to go in the first place because I'm trying to encourage the mentee to sort of give us some idea where we're going to go today. What are some of the goals and objectives at the end of the day, when we both walk away from our time together, can we both say we got value from our time together? And can I get us there if I'm actually taking the time beforehand to prepare? Probably not.
Okay. Well, it's a great question. Mentoring relationship, mentoring arrangement. The mentoring relationship being that is usually with the mentee, and the mentoring arrangement is with the mentor at the beginning, and then eventually it sort of blends together. This notion of having prepared material, I think, begs the question, is it necessary for a mentee or mentor mentee and or mentor to have prepared content to share? I think we could expand this question and look at it from both sides. All right. And if I put my thoughts into this, is at the very beginning, I don't believe you can have a whole bunch of prepared stuff, right, as a mentor. But as a mentee, you might say, hey, listen, these are the questions I want to take a look at. These are some of my answers already, right? And I might bring that just to show that I've thought through as a mentee what the conversation might unfold. But as a mentor, I'm going, well, this person's new to their job, so they're probably going to ask this question, and I'll have this all prepared so I can just give them a handout and go. That, I believe, is where we might get into a bit of difficulty. Mentee bringing something at the beginning, mentor waiting till and then sharing something afterwards. Now, the interesting thing on the flip side, I might go, as a mentor, is once we're into it and I know we're having conversations, there might be an idea that comes to mind that I'm going, I think I'd like to prepare a little something. I don't know if I'll share it or not, but I'd like to bring it to the conversation because I can give it to the mentees. Let's take a look at this because I think there's something here to share, because the relationship and arrangement is now blended and everyone's holding that space. So sometimes there's a time answer to this, okay, that I think we need to take into consideration. Other thoughts?
Yeah, the one thing that comes to mind for me as we've been kind of talking our way through this is the aspect of a checklist, and I don't want to see us evolve to that where because then we lose that natural piece that, we talked about in the session beforehand, which that's gone out the window, right? Is now all of a sudden here's a list of questions you ask, and you must ask these in this order. And if the answers to question number 2 are this, then skip 3, 4, and 5 and ask 6. I've been asked that before by other mentors is, do you have a list of questions to ask? No, I don't. And the reason for that is that every mentoring arrangement or relationship is unique. And when you to go into it with a predetermined, prescribed approach that you're going to take, I think it is, you're not bringing the value that you probably could or should bring by doing it kind of, coming in and just saying, tell me a little bit about yourself, and kind of going through that whole process, right? I call it the effective mentoring process, is building the trusted relationship, and then in the next phase of the relationship, starting to dive a little deeper to sort of get to what are some of the challenges and what are the root causes.
And then you could, as a mentor, prepare some material to send over and or prepare for the next meeting, because you said, well, look, I'll prepare something for that. That's different than walking in with it, right? And that's the point that you're making here. But let's take a look at another kind of example. You're setting up a online meeting and there is etiquette. Is it good to create a prepared document like a checklist about the etiquette for online meetings for mentoring?
I think if it's new to, obviously, the relationship arrangement, or if it's new to the organization and people aren't aware of the etiquette that's required, then I would say yes. It's interesting because I went through a webinar put on by Zoom here, not within the last couple of weeks, and that's what it was all about. Was, what are some? They had this panel. I think there was 16 people on the panel, and they were talking about different approaches to be able to, to facilitate using Zoom as a communication tool. And it was actually quite interesting. I'm still waiting for the link to the recorded webinar. But having said that, there were some really good, takeaways from that. Some of which I still struggle with today to try and put into practice.
And I think that's a topic for another day, yeah. Is that etiquette. But the point being is that maybe there are times when a checklist is prepared and given. Because I think one of the things I believe that both of us would agree with is that there's no absolutes here when we're mentoring. Is, this is how it will be done kind of thing. I don't think Doug or I are into that way of sharing. It's just that we've always got to be paying attention to the nuances of this. And this question, when I first asked it, was it necessary for a mentor to prepare content? And then I went, no, hang on a minute. It's the mentor and the mentee. We've got to look at this and unpack this in ways that's of value to both the mentor and the mentee, right? And there might be times, I'm trying to think if I can think of one, where there is a prepared document that the mentor has to give to the mentee because it's a formal mentoring arrangement and therefore has to be presented at the mentoring meeting. In other words, it is prepared and given.
So I actually have one. We just had the call yesterday or the day before, and so I'm in a formal mentoring program, and my time with my mentee is drawing to a close. And the program manager for the mentoring program actually has a checklist. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And we just got it sent to us and said, please make sure that you go through and that these are all addressed. Well, I don't know that we addressed them all, but we accomplished a lot. And what came from the mentee was that we didn't talk about a lot of this stuff. I don't know that I would have got any value from any of it anyhow, because I got more out of our hour-long chats about different things, different approaches. What should I do here? What should I do there? Than going through a checklist to say, you know, do you have business cards? Do you have this? Do you have that? All those sorts of things. Yeah.
So I guess there's a timing that goes with it as well. There's the timing of, you know, who's got the relationship, who's got the arrangement, the blending of that. Then there's the timing of, well, maybe that document should have been sent way ahead of time before you even get into the meeting. Don't bring it to the meeting as though it feels like it's been prepared, because that might feel a little, there's lots of nuances here again in terms of, we're just talking about documentation being brought ahead of time, right? And then what documentation happens after, well, that's a whole nother kettle of fish that we could take a look at some point in time. So yeah, this has been great. It sort of sparked some bits and pieces for me as well. Thanks for watching the video. We have an ask of you. Make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell beside subscribe so you can receive more notifications of the videos that we're loading up. And like the video, and especially if you could comment your insights. We would enjoy learning from you. Take care.